Coaching is something that is becoming more and more important in the world we live in today. Of course, if you are a manager, being coach-like is at the top of the things you need to do and the way you need to show up. But coaching is also something that appeals to people working with colleagues within a team, colleague to colleague, and sometimes just in the way we interact with everyone we do is to be more coach-like. Because if you start to think of yourself as a coach, it shifts everything in terms of the relationship. So we're going to take a deep dive into coaching for the next few weeks because it is such an important part of how we work with each other. So this is the first of the series. We're going to start off by thinking about what makes a great coach. So Darren, I'm going to ask you the big three question. If you think about the best coach you've ever had in your life, it could have been a boss, it could have been a sporting coach, it could have been a family relative, Uncle Bruce or Auntie Susie, or it doesn't matter. Someone who you think was a great coach in your life. Have you got someone that comes to mind, Darren?
I do. I've had a few, actually. I'm very fortunate that way. So yeah, I've got one or two in mind.
Okay, so what I want you to do is bring that person figuratively and put them right next to you right now. And I'm going to ask you a question, and I'm just going to see where it takes us.
Okay, sounds good.
Let's bring this person in, Darren. And if I had to ask you the question, the big three, what are the three things that made this person such a great coach? What would you say?
Well, I would say, first and foremost, they saw the potential in me. One of the early coaches I had around becoming a coach, so as a different person. But I remember them very distinctly saying that your role as a coach is to see, to see the potential in that person. And I conclude this person clearly did. And in fact, they hired me, and my resume did not necessarily suggest I would be successful in that role, but they saw something there and gave me the opportunity. And so that, I think, first and foremost, so they had a belief in me. And that's, okay. I think, the important foundation.
So they saw something in you, some potential, some belief. That's one. That's fantastic. Okay, what's the second one?
Is, and I think it's, they gave the, I think that I'm kind of hesitating a little bit because I'm trying to collect that's what happens when you get a really good question. You actually have to think about it, right? And so the term I'll use to start with is they gave me the opportunity to model them, to learn from them. And that extends off into, what we'll dive in, I'm guessing here in a minute, but they gave me the opportunity to learn from them. Is that there was an assumed, certain level of knowledge that I came in, but they didn't just throw me in the deep end. There were times I was thrown in the deep end, but I was prepared to go into the deep end, if that makes sense. Like they allowed me to model them, to go into meetings, to go into different calls, to learn. And in fact, even sometimes as they were thinking through something, they would give me that opportunity to kind of see how they thought through something.
Fantastic. Okay. What was the third thing?
Well, the third thing I think, merges into the first one is as then I started to develop my own set of skills and momentum, if you will, in this area is really becoming the term that we've used and we talk about in the Leader Accelerate program is a thinking partner. I was then able to go and, we could talk things through, and they would ask really great questions or allow me to ask them really great questions. And we could, at times get on a whiteboard or sit in the car after we would go on a call or have a meeting and talk through things. So I think that really made a difference for me. We went from I was being coached to more, more like peers, but they clearly were still the coach in the role. But we were allowed to interact at a higher level as we went along that allowed me to then grow and develop at the same time, right? Is that they were, I guess that would maybe then be the third, getting a little emotional thinking about it, is they were absolutely okay with me exceeding them in certain areas, right? Like they clearly gained a great deal of satisfaction through my success. And I think that what differentiates great leaders, not hierarchical leaders, but leaders in every area of life, is when you learn how to take satisfaction from other people's success. And that this individual, I've been fortunate to have a couple of individuals in my life that have taken a great deal of satisfaction as I've succeeded.
As I'm watching you and listening to you, I can sense the emotion that is within you, because obviously this person had such a significant impact on developing you and your life, the way you think, the way you show up, the skills you've had, all of those sorts of things. So here's what we would like you to do watching this. Love for you to think about who has been this best coach that you have had in your life. Think of an individual, and we would love to hear from you in the comments. Just give us one thing that they did or one characteristic that they had that made them such a great coach. I'm sure you all have one. We are very, very interested in hearing from you.